Hey guys, my name is Adam Everett Miller from Hello Studios, and in this video I'm going to talk to you about a couple tips on how to better your relationships with your clients. I'm assuming that you've been in business for a little bit here, maybe you have some recurring clients, so rather than talking about how to acquire new clients or how to attract new customers, I'm going to assume that you've already have some people that you have relationships with, and so these tips are going to be geared towards just making your life less stressful and making those relationships better. I will say that this is more geared towards service-oriented jobs, construction, landscaping, creative services like video or web design, things that deal with a kind of a contract and more larger scale projects rather than one-off sales like here's money, here's your food or whatever. So hopefully this will be helpful for you if you're in one of those roles. All right, well, let's go ahead and jump right in. I have 5 points. Point number one is establish a deadline. I think a lot of times we hear the word deadline and we think, oh, if I don't get this project done by this time, I'm dead, I'm in trouble. And it would make sense because we all grew up going to school where you have to get your homework in by Friday and you've got bills that you got to pay by a certain time of the month and all this. And so it makes sense, but if you look at the origin of the word deadline, it actually comes from the early American prison system where a guard would be up in the tower and prisoners would be down kind of messing around by the gates or by the outside wall. And what they did is they actually, around the entire perimeter of the outer fence, they went in 10 feet and painted a solid white line around by the entire wall. And this was called the deadline. If you cross the deadline, you're gonna get shot. It was just a real basic, clear way of saying, don't go mess with the fence. And this was really, really quite brilliant. So rather than, if I don't get this done by this time, I'm dead, say, no, on this date, the project is dead. I'm not dead, the project is dead. And that'll instantly just alleviate a lot of the stress that you might naturally have. This is also cool because you can set up deadlines for your client. You don't want to be sitting there floundering in this state of client feedback and just this limbo state of waiting to hear back and I'm not really sure if they saw it or not. No, give your customers a deadline. You need to have the script to me by Thursday, and then I will turn around, I'll get you the voiceover by Friday, and then I want to see revisions by Monday. If you're upfront and establish deadlines with them, it's going to make your entire project go a lot smoother. So establish a deadline. Number two is talk a little and talk a lot. It should be probably talk a lot and talk a little because that's the order, but I just like the way that talk a little, talk a lot sounds. So talk a lot. Regularly update your clients. Keep them in the loop. They're trusting you with this project. They maybe stepped out on a limb and said, we really need to move forward with this. They're investing. They're hiring you to better their organization, to make themselves better. Their livelihood is dependent on you. So of course they're going to want to hear updates on how things are going, if there's any issues. Don't leave them waiting and wondering. Regularly update them, but also talk a little. Don't do 4 paragraphs, explaining every little intricate technical detail. No, they just want a simple little update just to keep them in the know. They're gonna really appreciate that. I do think it's important on the front end to figure out what their preferred method of communication is. Do they like texting, or is texting, no, that's my cell phone, don't text my phone, this is a work thing, that's my personal phone. You never know what people prefer. Maybe just an email, maybe they like using a service like Basecamp or something where there can be a thread to track there. So right on the front end, find out what their preferred method of communication is. Number 3 is don't be somebody else. Now it sounds like I could just say, be yourself, but no, don't be somebody else. You are gonna be yourself, but a lot of times I think, especially when you first get started, it's tempting to try to inflate yourself to be a bigger organization than you are, or a bigger company than you are. Yeah, we can handle this. I mean, how many resumes do you see where it's like, I'm proficient in all these different things? Yeah, that's fine, but like, I want to know what you are, who you are. Don't be fake with people. They're going to be able to read through it pretty quickly. Be authentic and do good work. If you can deliver quality results, the client is going to come back to you. Plus, you don't want to bite off more than you can chew. If they say, hey, can you do, at least for video for me, can you do a live stream and have a multi-camera setup and be doing internet streaming? that's not really what we do. That's not the type of video that we normally do. I can maybe redirect you to somebody, or I'll be honest with you, maybe we can kind of figure that out together. But by being honest and upfront, you're not going to be jipping them off by overcommitting and then under-delivering, and you're not going to be stressed out because you said you could do stuff and now you got to figure out how in the world you're going to do it. So don't be somebody that you're not. I read this book called Rework by 37 Signals, the guys that make Basecamp. And the biggest walk away that I took, just the simple note, bigger is not always better. Why have 20 employees when you can do a good job with 10? Why have 5 guys on your staff when you can just be yourself and subcontract different services? We have this idea that success means we're growing and we're big, but that's not always necessarily the case. Do quality work, be honest, be candid with people, and they will come back and they're going to appreciate you for it. So that's number 3. Number 4, give A or B choices. Really, the idea here is be intentional with your questions, and then you're going to get intentional answers. Rather than saying something like, so color-wise, what were you thinking? Say, would you prefer red or blue? Give specific choice, and it doesn't have to be a 1 or 2. It can be, all right, here are the 6 options that are most popular. Which one do you think is most in line with where you're wanting to go? If you give options, it helps the client be more decisive. Rather than putting things on their side of the court, you're basically saying, we're going to do one of these. Which one do you want to move forward with? And then all of a sudden, boom, now you're moving forward. You're not waiting on them or waiting for feedback. It's just a way to continue to move forward and to get a lot more stuff done. Along with that, there's often the need to educate your client. So they might not be familiar with the way that certain things are done. If you do web design, the alpha channel and the hex value and all these terms. And so you're super knowledgeable about this because you've been doing it for a while. But it's easy, without even trying, to be a little condescending. They need to be educated, but you got to watch how you word things and how you phrase things. The way that I've approached this is usually I try to twist it in the form of a question. Are you familiar with this? Or have you thought about fill in the blank? By making it a question, you're never going to offend anybody. It's not like, oh, I can't believe you would ask me such a thing. Whereas they would say, oh, I can't believe you talked down to me like that. Make sure that as you're educating, but coming alongside them to educate, rather than attacking them with like, well, are you going to white balance your camera or what? Just things like that. So overall, just be a nice person. All right, number 5, adopt their babies. This kind of goes along with keeping them updated, but again, they're stepping out on a limb here and they've decided to hire you. So you need to remember that, keep that in mind. Provide the feedback, but also ask additional questions. Find out what they're trying to accomplish overall. Is this specific thing that you're working on part of a larger game plan that they have? If you ask questions like, what's your goal with this, or what are you trying to accomplish? Ask questions outside of just this project that they're hiring you for. And it's going to plant this little seed in their brain that says, this guy actually really cares, and he wants to be a part of what we're doing. And I can see maybe carrying him along with us. Maybe he can be a part of this. You're going to lock yourself in with them, maybe for the long haul, that they're going to want to come back to you because they know that you really do care about what they're trying to accomplish. And so the last point, number 6, this is kind of the free floater that I'll throw in there. Maybe you have a point of contact. Maybe you have some connection that got you in on a specific job. As soon as you're able, try to establish other relationships within that organization or that company or whatever. If you're only dependent and your one hinge is this one individual, if they end up leaving or something happens, you could lose that job. So try to chat with the girl in accounting and maybe just have a little dialogue. Be memorable and build relationships. Get to know other people in the organization as well, and that'll kind of lock in your position there because they're going to say, oh yeah, I remember, yeah, that Adam guy, he did videos, he was cool, I remember him. It's going to kind of secure your position there. So I hope there's some useful information here for you. I love hearing from people, so if you want to shoot me an email with any questions, maybe you've thought about doing some videos yourself, I can probably tell you pretty quickly if you'd be in a good position to do that or what your options are. Maybe we can work together, or I can maybe refer you to a friend who does similar work, but I would love to meet you. And yeah, check out our work, hellostudios.net. I hope to see you soon.